In 2016, Apple announced that it was getting rid of the headphone jack.
So we're taking the headphones to Lightning.
They then simultaneously released the first generation of wireless headphones, the AirPods. Apple created a problem and then built a $200 solution to that problem right in front of everyone.
Apple AirPods.
And the craziest part is, it worked. While this may have been a very unpopular decision at the time, it was also a very profitable one. AirPods are now the most popular Apple accessory, and they sold 35 million of them the year after it was launched. Fast forward to today, and we see that Apple is promoting their new phone trade-in program, giving customers the opportunity to trade in their old iPhone to keep valuable resources out of the landfill and save some money on their next device in the process. This initiative has some huge implications for Apple as a company, and believe me, it's about a lot more than just recycling phones. Despite years of social blunders and PR breakdowns, people keep coming back to Apple. Why? Because they've built an emotional relationship with their customers. One so strong that many people don't even consider competitors before buying the newest iPhone. Apple is like that first crush that you knew was probably bad news, but you dated anyway, even though all your friends told you that Marianne was just into you for your fruit roll-ups. This was back in elementary school, but it still hurts. Emotional branding is something that Apple understands very well. And they are very good at walking the line, that balance between money-hungry corporate juggernaut and everyone's favorite tech company. Because of this, Apple has a very real financial interest in keeping up with the latest social causes, whether that be releasing a rainbow wrist strap to their Apple Watch for Pride or adding BLM emojis to their keyboards. The minute that Apple loses that emotional bond with their customers, they risk them going elsewhere. Just like how Marianne ended up with Tyler, who always had fruit gushers in his lunch, even though my mom thought that they were too sweet to be giving to kids in the middle of the school day. But perhaps their biggest social hurdle is their use of planned obsolescence. Apple is a publicly traded company, which means that literally their primary responsibility is to provide profit for shareholders. And what is good for shareholders is not always what is best for consumers. There's a reason why your iPhone is so difficult to take apart and repair. It's because Apple doesn't want you to repair it. Apple could design phones to be more durable and repairable. We've seen other companies do just that. Companies like Fairphone literally exist to prove that new and more sustainable smartphone products are possible. But that's not Apple's business model. They want you to send back your phone so that you can buy a new one. Everyone knows what Apple is doing here. Apple has settled a lawsuit for $3.4 million over planned obsolescence issues in Chile, and they're facing another one in Portugal for the same reasons. But while planned obsolescence is an image issue for Apple in general, it has created a much larger problem that Apple now has to face, and that's e-waste. E-waste is a massive problem, and one that is growing every single day. In fact, e-waste is the fastest growing waste stream globally. So Apple, as the world's largest technology company, is partially responsible at least for this huge problem that is going on globally. Their deliberately discardable phones and their constant push for people to upgrade to the newest model have contributed to a system where many people upgrade their phones every year, which is insane, by the way. And those old phones, more often than not, end up in the landfill, or in that one drawer in your house with all those charger cables that you never found a use for. In 2019, the value of raw materials contained in e-waste produced in the US alone was $7.49 billion. Yes, you heard that right. There are billions of dollars going into the trash every year. And this is why their recycling program is such a genius marketing tactic. Apple creates the problem, and now they get to be seen as the heroes who solve it too. And this gets crazy, so just buckle up.
It's going to be a bumpy ride.
But real quick, before we get into that, I want to thank you for watching this video. We are just getting things started here at Future Proof, so if you want to like this video and maybe even subscribe to the channel, all of that goes towards us being able to make more content like this. One, Apple is able to resell your phone for sometimes almost double what they give you for it. 2, these low-cost devices are often refurbished and then sold in developing countries like India or China, where Apple's market share is less established. 3, the discount you receive encourages you to buy even more of their products because you get store credit, not cash back. 4, trade-ins keep rare and valuable minerals in the Apple supply chain. For example, in 2015, Apple recovered $40 million worth of gold alone. And all the while, it boosts their public image, securing that bond between you and the company as you both work together to heal the planet. For a company that is so dependent on emotional branding, you cannot put a price on that. Now, you're gonna think I'm making this up, but real talk, Marianne wasn't into Tyler, and she wasn't into me either. She was actually playing both Tyler and I to get our gushers and our fruit roll-ups, and she was giving them to this other chick named Sarah that she was into. I'm not even kidding, this is a real story. Now, this might feel like some top-tier capitalism, and it is kind of like that. Apple has manipulated and dominated the market to become the world's largest tech producer. But they may be also on the way to becoming the world's largest tech recyclers too. And this has good and bad sides. Because of Apple's influence, they're doing some pretty innovative stuff with recycling programs. They say they're aiming to make most of their products and packaging using recyclable or renewable materials, which is a pretty big goal, but one that they have actually made some steps towards. Using advanced robotic technology, Apple continues to find new ways to salvage trash products. They proudly highlight how they use recycled aluminum and tungsten in production, and they're finding new ways to recycle and reuse other materials as well. And this is maybe the biggest part. Not only does this help reduce Apple's impact specifically, but it has a ripple effect throughout the industry as they are the leader. Other companies rush to sort of match what they're doing in order to remain competitive. But, and yes, there is always a but, this is a small step. Apple could have a much bigger impact if they just made their phones repairable, or if they designed them to even just last longer, but that's not as sexy as a robot that recycles stuff, or as profitable as getting people to give you their old iPhones for cheap. So yes, Apple is definitely greenwashing you as a marketing tactic to get you to buy more stuff. But with an economic incentive to innovate, Apple might be able to do real steps towards a circular tech industry. What I really want to see is, where does this go in the future? Will we see a time where smartphones are leased from the manufacturer, and then when we're done with them, we just send the device back to be reconstituted into a new one or something like that? Is that a good thing? We'll have to see. In the meantime, if you want to recycle your old iPhone, that's awesome. But the best thing that you can do as a consumer is to purchase secondhand, and to make sure that your old iPhone is going to someone who might actually use it. But if that old iPhone of yours is pooched, then yes, maybe sending it off to Apple to be recycled is the best possible option. And hey, if you're enjoying this kind of video, this is literally what Future Proof is all about. We talk about the companies and the brands and the individuals that are making the world a better place for the future. So consider liking this video, subscribing, and maybe we will see you in the next one.